Welcome everybody, welcome to Kendo Tips. My name is Jose, I am a golden in Kendo, and hopefully you guys are getting video right now. Just confirm that I have sound and video. That'll be nice. And now oh my god, this looks so bright. Give me 1 second, guys. Maybe I can just... So I had to change my camera and last minute. That's why some of the technical difficulties that I had. So hopefully we're good now. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for passing by. Rice, also thank you very much for being here. You guys are awesome. Okay, so I'm getting sound. I'm getting. Let me tell you, okay, the theme for today. And today, last week, I was talking a little bit about approaching your opponent, a little bit kind of touching on this topic of seme. So I kind of want to go deeper into that in competition today. Okay, so if you guys would like to go see that other stream right now, still live, but I may put it on listed, but you will be able to find it on the playlist for the past streams. Okay, so today we're gonna be watching a couple of tournaments as high school and college. I think they're very interesting ippons that I found, and hopefully you guys enjoy that. And let me know how you guys are doing on your Kendo week. Have you guys been getting some good trainings? Any events coming up? I'm finding here that you can find tournaments very often, like every week, and sometimes happenings more than one tournament in the same day, so which is kind of crazy to me. Not used to that, not having to travel so far to go watch a tournament. So I know that one of the dojos where I practice normally is having a tournament. Oh, sorry, it's a bug here. It's having a tournament next week. I was just told that today, so that's kind of cool. So maybe we'll be able to go watch and record some videos of tournaments here. Maybe I can try to do a live stream there at the same time, depending how my phone battery lasts and so on, because I'll totally be done by the phone. And the reason why I'm looking a lot into this topic of approaching your opponent and kind of creating a reaction from your opponent is because this is something that I'm focusing on right now. As I think was that said that, I'm in Japan right now, and that's been my main focus on how to approach my opponent, how to get a reaction, capitalize on it. So I got a couple of videos from my practice. I may do the members stream this week finally, because I've been, with the school that I'm doing here for Japanese and practices and work still. This has been kind of crazy, so I'm sorry. Before I go further into a stream, guys, I would like a quick little test. I have a different audio that I want to test out. If you guys can tell me if this sounds good or if this sounds better. I don't know if this will be a better sound. This is going to be a little audio check. I'll check this later. I think there's more echo in here. But here is the regular sound that I normally use. I'm just trying to figure out what will be the best setup. Anyways, so I'll probably listen to this later. Okay, so as I mentioned, it's not a significant difference. Yeah, because what's happening is that normally this microphone is really good if I'm really close, right? But I don't have a stand for it here right now, so may have to invest in one or something, just so I can have the microphone a little bit closer. And the other microphone is on the camera, and so yeah, that's the deal with this right now. My microphone, my desk is pretty high up, so microphone's considerably close to my mouth, but not as much as I would like it to be. Anyways, so this video, the first video that I'm going to show today, guys, it's pre-COVID, right? All these videos are from Let's Kendo. If you want, I can post the link for the videos on the chat. You guys would like to watch them on your own, feel free to do so. Okay, and the main thing that there's some cool ipons here, but we're not gonna watch the whole thing because it's a whole team match. But the main thing that I noticed here, or I kind of want to discuss too, is the use of Suba Serie I pre-COVID rules and then after COVID rules. So this is kind of why I wanted to share this one first. Then we're gonna move on to post-COVID rules. Okay. And you guys tell me, like, what do you guys think? What do you think? You know, what differences can you see? So I am going to say right off the gun, right, that there is longer Super Serie I, but what I like specifically about this fight is that there's tension in this Super Serie I, right? It's not just there to like waste time. So I like that from watching this, especially right here. Watch. Which, by the way, I don't know if you ever been slapped on the face like that during Super Serie I, but if you haven't, you know, it could be very shocking, right? So one thing that I like from the Kenshi on the right now, or red, is that he is into the fight so much that as soon as he gets this slap, let's just say, he immediately attacks, right? Watch. Right? And actually he attacks twice, which is kind of cool. Oh, this step. Sorry, guys. Guys, I'm having all sorts of technical difficulties right now. What's going on here? Okay, guys, give me 1 second because I'm not able to control the second screen. I'm sorry, guys. So sorry. Okay. Okay, I'm good now. Let me go back a little bit. For some reason now this thing is getting stuck. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay. Very sorry, guys. Like my controllers here are being all messed up. Okay, I'm gonna have to just do this. Okay. Just gonna go here. Okay, so let me just reorganize my desktop real quick so that way I can see everything happening. And so sorry, guys. Okay. Okay, you come back here. chat is gonna go here so I can see the chat for some reason. Okay. Never mind. Okay. You're saying that you like the COVID rules better and how the FIK and CNKR is taking advantage of the opportunity is great. Yeah, I think that there was a second motive, right, of implementing these rules as they popped up. But I have to say that there's a lot of aspects that I really enjoy from the rules. So not gonna lie, especially how I mentioned this a lot before that during the WKC, I was a little bit afraid on how the rules were being a little bit abused when it came to the whole falling thing and, uh, you know, wasting time on Super Serie I. So this is a type of moment where I am not happy about the use of Super Serie I, right? But when there's a lot of tension and intention to attack, this I'm all for it. So yeah, sorry guys, let me just make sure. Okay, I'm gonna play this. Okay. You see, this little push on the side of the head can really take you into a bad place if you're not ready. You see, this fighting in Super Serie I, I'm happy with, you know? Now, this point here is like, kind of weird, but okay, this was the first point that I wanted to break down on this video. What did you guys think about this? Do you think it was Ippon? If it wasn't Ippon, can you guess why it wasn't Ippon? But there's a couple good stuff happening here, and I kind of want to break that down. So, I don't know if you saw it. I'll play one more time. There is something that happens when you have good technique. Even the moments when there's not an Ippon, it might be taken as an Ippon by the judges. So in this case, it wasn't an Ippon, and I think it wasn't an Ippon accurately, because if you look, when he attacks, he actually misses. Let's see. He actually misses the target, right? But his Tenouchi, his impact, his Kikentaichi, it's all there, making it look like it was an Ippon. So, let me see. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. I want to try something. Okay, so when you have good posture and good tenouchi and good control of your body and your sword as you're executing a technique, a lot of times it can look like there's an Ippon when there's not one. So for example here, again, oh, sorry. Okay, so for example here, watch it one more time. Right? So in this moment, let's see the moment of impact. Right here at the moment where it would be the time of impact, he looks like he scored, right? And the best thing is that after, he doesn't look like he's losing balance. He doesn't look like all weird that he overswung. He actually did the tenouchi, and the sword bounced up because of the tenouchi, making it look like he actually connected an ippon. So if the judge is distracted, if there's not a good angle, or if it happened too fast, a judge may score this. And that's one of the things that I feel that we need to practice in our kendo, that when we miss, it looks like we actually score the technique. Because first you can have balance after, and then in the other hand, you can get lucky and somebody can score a point for you. So I think this is very important because it happens quite often with the players that they have good posture and good technique. On the other hand, if you don't have this, it could happen too that you actually make contact but you don't get the ippon. So I think practicing to have good technique when you strike and when you don't, it's a must if you want to improve how your kendo is gonna look and how well you can perform. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Let me catch up with this comments real quick. Rice is saying you wish that everyone was on the same page with the rules. Yes, I think it's gonna take time. It's gonna take a lot of time for people to actually kind of get. Every time something new comes in, even with the rules before COVID, there's still a lot of confusion I think, on shin panning. So I don't know. Galaxy, welcome to the stream. Thank you for passing by. And you're saying that in the SEUSKF, there was a pseudo requirement that attending Shimpan seminar with the new rules is a must, or at least some seminar ranking had to have attended it, again unofficial. So I mean, it's good to keep instructing ourselves and keep improving that way. So I'm all up for that. Yeah, so that was one of the main points one of the first points I wanted to mention in this video. That's a cool attempt for Tsuki, by the way, I think. Look at that dough. That cool. You're saying that the men look good to you, right? It does look good. But if you watch it, let me just go back real quick. The moment of impact. He actually misses it. You see that? I don't know if you can see the tip of the sword there. And then it goes on the side of the man rather than the front. So he didn't make contact. That's the crazy thing about it, right? So essentially, the man didn't quite reach, and then he went on the side. So he didn't even make contact with the mengane. So this is something that I want to also improve in my practice, and something that Sensei actually this week mentioned to me, that after a technique, look what red is doing. Actually, red and white do this quite often. But after the technique, they both clash into each other and they're still pushing through, right? So the advice that I got this week was to, when I'm doing Jigeiko, and let's say that we go for I men or I go for men and the person blocked, try to make a nice tatari and then go for another man. So kind of to just practice this continuity of technique. So I will actually practice that this week. I put that on my journal. Which by the way, guys, do you guys journal for your kendo, and how do you do it? I have my technique. I can share if you guys want, but this is, I think, very important. So this was a very nice interaction as well. What do you guys think? See that? I don't know if you guys see a nippon there. I had to watch it again. So I think the most visual for the camera angle right now, no, for the camera angle, but I don't know. I feel that the Kote came with good power, right? But too deep. And the men, ah, close, but not quite there. Rice, you're saying the next team practice, next team tryout to take a picture together. Please do so. Tag me in there. That would be awesome. 10 hours down to Atlanta from Virginia. Yeah, I know the drill because from Miami, it's I think a little bit. I think it's about the same. Yeah, it's about the same. Yeah, you can't do that drive alone. You have to go with somebody. And you guys put Register Sensei in that picture if you can too. I heard he's coming to Japan later in the year, so that will be awesome. Oh, he's gonna try at least. So here, there is a lot of there was a lot of Suba Serie I already watched this match, so I'm going to. So I don't know if the Shimpan gave the Hansoku for the Suba Serie I, but something very funny happened here, which I feel like if you guys watch the guy on red, when they tell him that he's getting Hansoku, look what he does. That looks so funny when the judge is telling you that, right? Like I wouldn't do that in a tournament. Watch. Why would you do that? I feel like that's two Hansoku right there. But anyways. So a quick little detail. I didn't think about this before, but I just saw that, and something that Kamae is very personal, right? So a lot of times having your Kamae a little bit high, a little bit low. If you guys watch the guy on the left, his Kamae is a little bit lower than the guy on the right. What advantages you feel that each person might have for having this type of Kamae? I think that when you lift it up so much, especially if you start getting tense and you lift it up even more, you expose yourself and you also shorten the distance. By keeping the tip forward, it's a way to keep your opponent a little bit farther away. But then at the same time, especially if you get nervous, you might not really have good engagement of your hands on your sword. So you have to kind of play around and experiment a lot with your Kamae to find the best Kamae that suits you. But at the same time, Kamae has to be fluid, and sometimes you might need to raise the tip a little bit, sometimes just keep a little bit lower, sometimes maybe even just put a little bit to the side. Different things that you can do. So yeah, let me know how you guys keep your Kamae and what were you told to do for your Kamae. So this could be the same answer or they could be separate answers. For example, when I was early on in Kendo, for me I was told to keep the tip pointing towards the left eye, right? The left eye of my opponent. But as I progressed, I find myself that I like more like the Kamae on the left, where the Shinai is pointing more towards like the Tsukidare or a little bit towards the Mune. So I don't know. And last week in the video that we were watching, one thing that the sensei mentioned is that he likes to semi towards the kote, right? So as it's coming in, he's actually further kind of like bringing the sword down slightly too. So there's a lot of details when it comes to that. So let me know what you guys think. Let me catch up with some of these comments. Okay. Westblade, welcome to the stream. Thank you for passing by. Guys, if you haven't, take a second, please hit the like button on the stream. It really helps out. And yeah, Westblade, thank you for passing by. Right, it's poor timing. And you're saying for your experience, lower tip makes people uncomfortable. It does. But I'm not talking about lowering the tip below the opponent's kamae, right? I'm not talking about having your kamae underneath. I'm talking about, like bringing your tip slightly down. So maybe if the person has a higher kamae, I think that this also allows you to kind of come in and have a little bit more closer distance in your opponent without them really feeling what's happening. So I think for somebody, I think one of the reasons why people that lift their kamae are susceptible to kote is because they shorten the distance, they don't know the pressure, and it's easy to kind of put the pressure, make them tense up, and then you go. On the other hand, some people do this on purpose. I actually was talking to somebody that actually this is what they do, right? They actually make them feel comfortable with the kote, so the person kind of like closing the man and just making it where they're gonna go for kote, and immediately when they try, they go for ai kote man or suriage. But I don't really like this approach too much because what if they don't, right? Like I don't want to have in my mind, okay, I'm gonna do this, so they do that. I just try to make it in the moment. Anyways, Luis, thank you very much for passing by. You're welcome, and as always, I hope you're doing well. And you guys, thank you for saying I'm an inspiration, but you guys are also keeping me motivated on doing this, right? So I just want to make sure that I'm getting better here, so I can share that with you guys. So if you have any question, let me know. Right, so saying poor timing on adjusting the tare. Yeah, but it looks so bad. It looks so bad. Actually, you know what? That kind of deserves. Let me just clip that real quick. Right here. So, sorry. Let me just clip it. What not to do? What not to do at a tournament, right? Anyways. Great ippon. Great ippon. So this is a great ippon. Let's break it down a little bit and see what happened. Let's play it slow motion first. That was so close, right? Oh, you can't see the video? Oh, guys, I'm so sorry. Ha, I've been doing this for a minute. Sorry, I have everything in one screen because the little iPad that I have as a monitor, they don't, like, it had technical difficulties today all over the place. So sorry, guys. Let's get it going again. So let's watch it first, full speed. Thank you, Jan. Thank you for passing by. This is a crazy ippon, right? And so now let's watch it slow motion. Great impact, great approach, and it could have gone the other way based on the excessive motion that Red did on coming in to attack. But I think that, okay, if you watch this, he comes in with a motion and then he comes directly into the technique. He had the time to do it. The main reason for that is because his opponent put the tip so far away from the center. And if you notice it, as they're coming in, they're very close together, right? As a matter of fact, white is closer to the man than red is. But because he comes from the side and red comes straight up, he couldn't manage to get there. Because if you would look at the hands, the hands are getting on the way. So it's kind of really hard for white to actually break the center. Actually, this happened to me a lot today because I was doing a lot of I-men with one of the senseis, And I started noticing that uh, if you come in a little bit too late after the hands of the opponent are out, it's going to be really hard for your sword to kind of cut through and get into the target. So what you want to do instead is try to stay in the center, coming into the center and trying to get there before that final reach, so that way the tsuba of your opponent doesn't get on the way and you can actually kind of cut through the center. And I think it's especially hard to do it if you're coming from the side. So it's something that you want to kind of break down as you're doing it during practice. If you feel that you're doing amen and every time your sword is kind of getting out of the way, try to figure out why. Okay, this is kind of like my thought process that I went through today in those like 20 seconds or 30 seconds, I don't know how long it was, of amen. So yeah, hopefully you find that useful. But that being said, it is essential that you try to keep the center and try to make sure that you are dominating that, because if you watch, white could have had the advantage, right? But red just broke through it. Paul, good morning from Memphis. Thank you very much for passing by. My feed is always a good primer for practice. Well, if you guys practice amen today, I think this is a good thing to keep in mind. So that's awesome. You guys watch before practice. Thank you very much for passing by. And I'm gonna say, because you're in Memphis, I'm guessing you also practice with Register Sensei. Please say hi from me. I'm just gonna, hopefully enough of you will say hi, and he'll message me because of that. That'll be funny. So great ippon. Something that you want to keep in mind is always about the center, right? It's very hard when you put the sword so far out. You hate how the head tilts back. Is this something that is happening to you? Something that you're observing in your kendo, or something that you observe in your peers kendo? In my experience, a lot of times this happens when people are trying to kind of just throw the hands, and like, it's like, I think a wasted movement, I guess, because you want to kind of throw yourself with your body in before. So somebody just commented in Japanese. Hello. So sorry that my Japanese is not good yet. So, but I'm studying Japanese. 今は日本語勉強します. So, if you can help me out, that'll be awesome. So, Jan, yes, it's high school. It's a high school tournament. Right, as you can see that white had the chance even with the lowering. Yeah, totally. He had the chance, but he went off the center. I think, right? I'm not saying that this is what happened. So this is team fight. This is a team fight, and a lot of strategy comes in when you're in a team competition. And at this point, I guess the rule is you want to win your fight, but if you don't win, you want to tie. And if you cannot tie, you don't want to lose by 2 points, right? So I know white is kind of in this position where he doesn't want to get scored again because he wants to give a better opportunity for the team. But at the same time, he's also trying to take back the point, right? So it's a very stressful situation for a team. I feel that white has a very compact man. Guys, if you haven't, take a second, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel. Oh, Jan, thank you very much for the translation. Yes, and they're very strong. Yeah. So thank you very much. And I cannot understand the name, so I'm so sorry. I wonder if like Japanese people are getting my feed now because I'm streaming from Japan. I'm streaming from Japan, right? Like, sorry, I was looking at my VPN to see if it's on. So again, very intense fight, great fight. Main thing I wanted to just kind of bring up is a little bit of that uses a Suba Serie a little bit on the before COVID rules. So my second match, actually, you know what? This one, sorry. This one, it's, let me see. This was also from Let's Kendo. I will put the video on the feed if you guys would like to go watch it. There you go. You're saying a head tilting back is something observe for yourself. To you, is safety and aesthetics safely. Mitigates hooking the kensaki under the tsukidare, and aesthetics it looks too much handwork. Yeah, I think if you slow it down, I used to do it a lot too, right? So what I did is try to relax my shoulders, keep my chin tucked in, and then especially do fumikomi drills without striking, right? And then kind of integrate the strike after you feel comfortable that you have a powerful, or my fumikomi is not powerful, but once you feel confident that you can throw yourself in with power, then you can throw in the hands. It's actually something that I want to make a video about because there is correct kendo and there is strong kendo, right? So you want to fuse both. And a lot of times, if you want to do like strong and fast kendo, you tend to compromise a lot on your technique and how to do things. And a lot of times, when you're slowing things down and you're breaking it down and you're trying to do it perfectly and stuff like that, you don't have that intensity that you need sometimes during the fight, right? So I think we have to train both extremes, and I think we have to fuse them together. Just a thought, but yeah, keep that in mind. Something that you might find useful. Okay, let's see. So this was posted about 3 days ago, and is Nippon is against Jordan, and you can see a little bit of a quicker release on the Suba Serie A. So this is again an opinion. This is not factual, but I do see that because of these rules, a lot of people are kind of being more lax about the time in Suba Serie A. So a lot of the times that fight is not there. Yes, people are getting separated and engaging into the fight again from Toma, right? Like they're going back into, regular distance and re-engaging. But when you're in Suba Serie A, you want to keep that fire right there. You want to keep that attention, so that way, even if the person tries and maybe that person's gonna get a hansoku, there's always a chance that they might actually hit you and not get a hansoku. So always be prepared, and don't let that fire extinguish, I guess. Wait, I guess we're not getting sound here. Tell me if the sound from the video is too loud, guys. So you see, the Suba Serie A is very relaxed compared to what we saw before. It could also be the situations, fine, but I don't know. There's actually something. Okay, this is actually a good time for me to actually share about this. Give me 1 second. If you guys watch this moment when Red kind of opens up his legs to kind of be, I guess, in a jumping position, he is pushing forward, but he's loading his weight back, right? So when he advances, immediately he puts his weight back again on the back foot. When we're in this position, it's very dangerous to put all the weight forward because then you only have one way that you can really go with power, and that is backwards. And if you have somebody that has a lot of reach, it might be hard to escape. So you might want to keep your weight on the back foot because that way you can push forward with power with that back leg. But at the same time, you can also use your forward leg to push back and get away from a sticky situation. Um, okay, you're using Google Translate. Good job. Thank you. I use it a lot. I use it often. And ChatGPT. I might actually make a video about that, by the way. In Japan, the Corona rule has been loosened and is now possible to spit each other for 3 seconds. I don't think the word is spit, but yeah, but like to be in Suba Serie for 3 seconds. That's yeah, I know about this and it's interesting. Oh, I wish. Okay, hopefully, Jan. I don't know if you can tell him to like write down to message me and stuff like that. Maybe we can talk more about this. That would be so awesome because then we can get a little bit of scoop from somebody practicing here. But I hope. Okay, let me write it down. Maybe he can use Google Translate. By the way, we have the Discord server. By the way, anybody that hasn't joined in that would like to join in, talk to more Kendo people, you have the Discord server there. That's a good way to contact me and message me, by the way. We have a translator in chat. How do you do the translation in chat? Ah, sorry. Translator in the chat. Okay. Yes, because there's some applications here, some message application that they have translators in the message boxes. So that's why I thought you could do it here. My bad. So you see, here it's a little bit too relaxed, right? I don't know if it's because of the players or what is it? The confidence. Maybe what I'm trying to say is that because the confidence that the rules are giving people, I think it's a false confidence. You want to be careful with this. Because if you watch like the All Japan Championships, this doesn't happen that often. It actually happened a couple times, and those people actually, I think Nishimura got stroked like that, right? He got hit that way. So, I like to watch Ippons against Jordans. I like to watch Ippons from Jordan as well. Me, as somebody that doesn't do Jordan, I like to watch Ippons more that are against Jordan. But I don't like when people don't get hit and actually they lose a point, right? So I watched this one earlier. And if you watch, the Shinai actually hits the Tsuka. If you watch it right there, right? So it's kind of sucks. Welcome to Discord. What city are you in? Me. Are you in? You guys can tell I don't feel confident enough with my Japanese classes yet to actually joining the conversation this way. But don't worry, soon. I can do it now here in the street, but like on internet, not yet. Oof. That's a great core awareness, right? Look how White goes back, and before getting to the edge, he goes forward. This is great core awareness. Very, very good. And I always mention this, that when you have, okay, let me go back a little bit here. When you have somebody that is strong, or it's being, when you have somebody that is in Shiai, when you have somebody that is controlling the fight, you can start telling who's controlling the fight by who's controlling the center. So if you watch White, it's kind of going around Red, and he cannot really take the center. Even when he tries to come around, Red comes in and takes it, and he's forced to kind of now shift the corner, right? He was from one corner, now he's in the other one. So yeah, it's crazy. Jan, thank you for passing by. Always welcome here, and I hope we can get to talk soon. Take care. Thank you for passing by, really. So now I feel that because White wants to get an Ippon at all costs, now he's kind of a little bit desperate. Then he steps out. Forgot the core awareness. Very important point. Tough. Do you see this point right here? That moment where he goes and throws that Hikimen? Ah. It's okay. Take your time. So this is one aspect of the rule that it's kind of fishy. It's in a gray area because you don't get a Hansoku for falling, right? So he went down. He should have got hit there. I mean, they should have given a Ippon there. I don't know. What do you guys think? In this moment specifically, ah, specifically in a moment like this, would you score the Ippon when the person is on the ground? Would you think that it's not okay? Because I think this is a little bit of a gray area when it comes to the rules, because you don't get a Hansoku for falling, so it could also be a way to kind of get out of a sticky situation, like I think happened here. Again, I'm assuming. So, sorry. Was that an intentional fall? Is this an intentional fall? I don't know. But if it is, I don't like that. And I think it's a little bit of a gray area. You cannot really give a Hansoku for that unless you can really prove that he did it intentionally. But it kind of looked like he did. Like, I don't know what happened there. You see, Red constantly dominates the center. And he's not falling back, right? And that's all she wrote. Let me see. I had Okay, I have these two more videos. The last one, it's okay. The last one we might not be able to watch, especially the whole thing. Might be a little bit too late here, but definitely this one is a short one, so it ends up pretty quick. Again, this is within the cover rules. I'll put the link for this video on the chat. And guys, if you haven't, please hit the like button. Help me get this stream out to more people. This is a very dangerous situation to start off with a man so quick. So I talked about approaching your opponent, and both people here come in, both of them very strong, right? So what makes red get the ippon over white? So red, even though that he's tilting his head back, is kind of coming a little bit more in center, right? But also I think he has better reach too. On the same side, one thing that red I think does very well here is that he's not going to where his opponent was. He's going to where his opponent is going to be at the time when he's throwing that technique. So even though that it might look like actually that white actually made the contact first, right? But they gave the ippon for red. But if you look at it, that's one thing that I feel that makes it more appealing. That a lot of times when we are actually doing like techniques like the Bana men, we tend to throw that man to where the opponent was. And instead we should be kind of anticipating where the opponent is going to be and try to make it where our maximum reach is at that point. That way, when you stretch up, you actually have an advantage on timing, but also you don't have to really travel that much in order to get to the point where you have to strike. You could get the ippon, like if you hit where the opponent was, maybe you're still not too deep where you can still get the ippon. But by the fact that you're traveling more, it's gonna take you longer to actually bring the sword down and do the fumikomi. But if you try to anticipate that moment, you're gonna be able to bring the fumikomi slightly earlier and be able to kind of break into your opponent's timing. Maybe timing is not the right word, but at least break into your opponent's distance. Does that make sense? Hope it does. Let me know. And sometimes it happens that when you get hit in one place and right after the opponent comes and does the same thing, sometimes like the computer takes a second to reboot and it becomes like, you know, a big opening. So you have to be careful with that. Be engaged from this moment. So if you, for me, looking at the way that the kamae from white is, I feel that he's very loaded on the front, so it's very hard for him to actually kind of approach or move forward. And when red comes in, I actually readjusted the feet before, so he came in and he went for that man. Look how big of a man it is. I feel that many times people like to work in a very compact strike, but I feel that in many cases this actually could be more dangerous, and having a big swing could actually be more helpful. Watch this swing. Right? With this big swing, he's able to kind of push down the opponent's sword just enough to get the impact, or maybe even get that bend from the shinai where maybe make the sound. I don't know why the Shimpan decided to give this ippon, but it's great to see how the use of a big swing can be useful sometimes over a compact swing. I know that's definitely something that I worked myself into doing the compact swing, but I did notice a while back, and it's something that kind of being refreshed lately, is that you also need to have that big swing, because sometimes that small swing doesn't work, especially when you have somebody that actually has a good timing on that big swing. Sometimes when you're coming in this way and maybe you want to be compact, but the other person's coming late, they have a chance to move you out of the way on the way up, and definitely they have a chance to move you down on the way down. So be mindful of this. Check it out, practice it, let me know what you think. Okay, maybe this is such a powerful throw, right? Like he really put a lot of energy on that swing. This is another thing that so I'm practicing in Osaka and Kobe, right? And when I go to Osaka, I practice with George McCall. I don't know if you guys know him, but he's the author of Kenshi 24/7. And we were actually talking a little bit about this last week, I believe. And it's how sometimes, people may throw their bodies forward, but sometimes people might actually throw it higher and kind of come down into the opponent's sword. If you do it intentionally, I think it can have its place and time, but definitely a tool you want to at least understand, because you might have somebody that does this against you, and if you're not used to it, if you don't know what's happening, you may have a hard time challenging their men, for example. Like doing I men or the Bana men could be difficult against these people if you're somebody that throws their body just straight in, right? But yeah. Okay, so again, this video, unfortunately, we won't be able to watch the whole thing. I do want to look at that dance. I do want to share some parts from this video today. Oh, Shen, thank you for passing by. Welcome. Hit that like button. Just kidding. No, I'm not. So, all the tournaments that I'm sharing today are between high school and college. So, it's very athletic, right? And there's one thing I believe is in this video, in this first fight, that that's going to be shown. Just give it a second. Gotta be careful with those turns, but it does show the engagement, right? He's going through. He's still aware that opponent is there. He's trying to recover as quick as possible. Something that I'm particularly working on as well, and I guess I'm working too many things, but is to have that balance to do another technique right when closing the distance. Ooh. So a lot of times you can see, and I think you see this a lot from college students, they have very powerful strike, but they're afraid of coming in. So they do a lot of hits like this. Watch, like this kote right here. This kote, the first kote is gonna throw. Right, like where he's hitting forward but already kind of going back. So you have to kind of build the confidence to find that point of entry and go in. Actually today in practice, I was so tired, especially towards the end. And one of the things for like the last Ippon Shabu that I was doing in the last couple fights is that I didn't want to waste movement. I wanted to. I'm really working on making my opponent react and making my opponent open up. Right. I want to learn a lot of this. So, needless to say, I'm getting hit a lot. But the main thing that I tried today is in the last Ippon Shabu to try to make it just like that, where I'm gonna go forward, and in the moment, and I'm gonna shoot my shot in the moment when I get a glimpse that the person is about to move or about to do something. So the idea is, it didn't come out of nowhere. Previously in this practice today, the sensei actually recommended or drilled me into this, right? Where he had me come in with half a step, and as soon as he started moving, I should have been going to attack. So this is kind of like the goal that I'm working on right now. And then I'm only doing this with men. But then the idea will be that I can try to kind of anticipate whether the opening is going to be for men, kote, ski, or whatever. So, and don't think I'm thinking that this is going to magically happen within the next 2 or 3 months. Okay, so like I know this takes a lot of time. So know that it takes a lot of time. Okay, first point. Kind of wish it did a zoom in here, but if you watch, look what I was telling you guys. When you load your weight on the forward leg, you see what's happening here with the Kenshi on the right? His weight is in the forward leg, so when he pushes, it's easier for him to kind of move back. And I believe that he might have done this on purpose for this reason. As he goes back, he anchors or he gets his back leg ready. And immediately when he pushes the foot back again, you see how he's loading his weight on the back leg, and then he starts the motion forward before his opponent kind of had the time to engage into a technique, right? Into going forward. So I think this is very, very interesting, very good, and something that maybe I should make a video about that too, about trying to be in motion before your opponent does. So let me just look at it from the other side. We're gonna look at it from the guy that just got hit. The guy just got hit. He does a sudden move to kind of get a reaction from the opponent, right? He notices the opponent is going back, so he's going forward, and every time that he takes a step forward, he has to re-engage the foot. This is, maybe I'm watching this because this is something that I'm dealing with myself, that sometimes when you take that long step forward, you shouldn't take such a long step because it takes time for you to re-engage the back leg. So if you watch, that back leg is taking a little bit of time to get ready, and then he gets ready, but then he immediately moves the forward leg, putting him in a very dangerous position, especially based on the position that his opponent is in. So he gets hit before he can actually engage his legs because he's still in the process of finishing the previous step. Does that make sense? So what's the solution for this in my eyes, in my mind? Do smaller steps and understand how the distance affects your opponent and when you're in a safe distance and when you're not, so you can understand when you can actually advance rather than be put in an awkward position here. So for example, a technique that I feel that is great to practice this with is maybe like osai, and then when the person reacts, coming in for the kote, because for the osai you have to close the distance, but then you have to kind of wait for the moment where the person moves up so you can go around. And at this point, if you don't have really good control of your footwork, you might actually not get it, or you might actually hit too deep on the kote. So I think this is a good technique to practice this awareness, and especially to understand how to move with shorter steps and have that readiness. Um, yeah, I think that's a good technique to practice this. But it's something that it's for me a lot. At least it took a lot of self awareness to kind of understand that this is what I was doing wrong. Not the fact that I wasn't hitting, or oh, I'm hitting too deep. But yeah, but why am I hitting too deep? And it's not because I'm lunging too far. It's because I'm coming in with such long steps. Anyways, I digress. So watch this from Red. This little play, this little movement of the sword as it's closing the distance. If you watch, he kind of he kind of comes in. Awesome. I'll talk to me in Discord. Message me in Discord, please. So if you watch here, he's very close, and on top of that, his legs are in motion. He's not maybe confident to throw that man forward, but this is a bad position to be in because he's out of balance. And his opponent kind of seems to have a little bit of better balance, even though his sword is not in a good position to attack. So these are the things that you want to try to, if you feel that you're not getting opportunities to strike, these are the things you might want to be looking at in order to try to understand why are you not getting those opportunities. That little slap on the face, the little push. So this is something that I want to have in my kendo consistently. So you see he attacks white. I'm looking at white right now. He attacks. Immediately when he closes the distance, he sets himself up with stability, right? And from this position, he actually does something, right? I would prefer for him to actually do a technique, but the fact that he has the stability to do this strong push, you know. And again, another point from Red. So let's break it down. I think Shen, this is something that we're talking about on I think on some of the messages, I believe. And is that when you come in, let me just make sure that Red right now, he is making a sudden move to get a reaction. And Red has great awareness and great engagement of his legs to go forward and actually take that kote immediately, right? So he definitely caught White by surprise. And it's something that you want to try to understand, is that a lot of times those sudden motions can make the person react. It's good to understand these tools, but for example, for a test, these are definitely something that you might want to stay away from, and you want to try to understand how to create the same feeling without those crazy feints. Let's just say that, right? Create that feeling of anxiety or desperation where they have to either attack or cover. Does that make sense? Is that something that hold on, I hope that's something that makes sense. And guys, so today was a little bit of a crazy stream for me because I had a lot of problems when it come to the camera and the lights and stuff like that. So hopefully next one will be better. and I'm also trying something different on the streaming service. So hopefully we'll get some good stuff going soon. Shen, what is a good way to deal with your opponent who have a faster reflex speed and striking speed like this Kendoka? First, confidence. Because if you hesitate, they get you, right? So, but how you build confidence? So you gotta understand that you have to feel that you have an opportunity, right? So I feel that to create confidence, Kihon definitely does that for you. But also, and we talked about this during the stream with the sports psychologist, that you want to try to write down the things or analyze the things that are making you doubt yourself. So this is when it comes to the mental aspect. But for the physical aspect, you have to be the first person to move, and you have to be in motion as they make a decision. So again, you have to understand how to create that pressure, and that's why I think those feints a lot of times don't work, especially against somebody that knows what they're doing, because you might do this to get a reaction, and then this or this can be open for them to get you, especially if you misjudge the distance. But if you understand that, okay, you have to, you kind of come in and your body is slightly moving forward, you engaging into a technique as they make the decision, you're going to have a little bit more of an advantage. And a lot of times athletic kendokas, they might be faster, they might have better reflexes too, but they also might not be used to fighting your timing as well. So I guess practice. You also have to have good technique as you come in. So yeah, it's hard. It's hard. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it besides hard work, you know, and try to put yourself against these people as well. So right now, because of the school schedule that I have, it's hard for me, but I've been trying as much as possible to go fight with the university students, and if I can, the high school students as well, because they're really good. And at least understanding what it looks like to get that is definitely a big help. So yeah, definitely something that you want to just experience it. Yeah, as you said, no shortcuts. Hope that makes sense, guys. If you haven't, please hit the like button. Also, make sure that if you haven't joined the Discord channel is a great way to contact me if you have something to share or something that you would like me to talk about. That's a great way to contact me. If you would like to become a member of the stream, please do so. I think the link should be coming. Yeah, right there. So you can become a member, and I'll be doing some specific streams for the members as well, and some chats. Maybe I'll restrict them to members too if it gets too big sometimes. But that being said, thank you everybody for being here. You guys are really motivating me to make sure that I keep doing these things, and especially to keep getting better so I can share these things with you. And if you have any questions about training or about anything when it comes to Kendo, or maybe even training in Japan, feel free to send me a message and let me know how can I help you with. Okay guys, if you haven't, again, please hit the like button on the stream and subscribe. Share this channel with your friends. Please help the channel grow, and thank you guys very much for being here. I'll see you next stream, okay? Take care guys. Have a good day or night, depending where you're at.